See everyone. Hi, Mark, Richie. We have two from Iowa on, you guys, this morning. First time ever. We got Iowa with us. And Mark has been on the products, Mark from Iowa, for about 50 years. And last year, he sold about $40,000 in the last 12 months. So Mark is with us for the first time. And Franklin is with us from Cameroon. Wave at him, Franklin. There he is. And so we'll be hearing from Mark a little bit later in the program. We've got awesome speakers this morning, fabulous. So Wayne, could you please open in a word of prayer, please?
Okay. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and every day that you give us, and all the blessings and grace that you bestow on our lives, and the opportunities that you give us, Lord, to reach out and touch the lives of people, making them better, making this world a better place as you intend it to be. And we thank you for this great company, the NeoLife, and the products that they have gone overboard to make the best, second to none in the world, that they work for people. And we ask that as we share these products and sell them to our customers, we pray for good results, that they will get the benefits that they're expecting from it, and will sometimes, of course, share it with others. And so we also thank you for our guest speakers this morning, and we ask you to be with them as they share, to make this information available, to encourage one another as we try to do, and just to have your hand upon this whole gathering this morning. We thank you and praise you in Jesus' holy and precious name we pray. Amen.
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 Thank you so much, Wayne. Thank you very, very much. And Daniel, would you like to take over now?
Sure. Bob asked me to have a few people share a win from the last month, either a personal life win or a business win, just something, maybe a breakthrough for you or something exciting that happened in your life. So try to make it 30 seconds or less. We'll try to get through this quickly, but just if there's a few people that want to share a win, feel free to unmute yourself and go ahead and do that. Who'd like to go first? I'm looking for a volunteer. All right. I see Brent raising his hand. Go for it.
Everybody, how you doing? Our win for the month was the meeting with Bob. We had a first Zoom meeting. We had 2 scheduled, and we got a really good turnout, and we plan to do more in the future. So that was our positive.
All right.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Brent and Ramona did phenomenal. Ramona, did you have about 7 on yours? Around 7. And then they did, and then Ramona and Brent did another one later. They had like 10 to 12. So those guys are giving a big hand.
All right.
Who else has a win?
We do.
Tell us, John.
Okay.
So this month we had two directors.
Woo!
Yeah.
They didn't just have 2 directors, because the director's at 4,000, and one of their directors was almost to 5, and Jamie and Carol were about to 7, and John and Debbie had their biggest month ever.
Our biggest check ever.
That's true. You guys want to say something? You guys want to say something?
Sure. Well, while we're talking, I'll just say we're continuing to grow the business, and excited about that, and also really excited to hear different people saying what it's been doing for them, and that's just so encouraging. It's why we keep going. It's also we like what it's doing for both Carol and I in our lives too.
Yeah, we'll hear a little bit more about that later, but Jamie, can you tell us maybe just one of good thing that you hear from people?
Yeah. Let's see, where shall I start? I
Fine.
may as well start with Rob right here.
Hey, Rob, right here.
Rob had a good month, had a couple more people come into his business, and I think he's getting excited.
And I'll
He's here. He has to be excited.
raise your hand, Rob, and wave at him. Rob there,
There we go.
he had almost no feeling in his feet. He said up to about his shins, I think he said no feeling. And now he has feeling, you guys. He can start. Isn't that awesome, you guys?
It is.
Yes.
That's a big thing. And his wife has way more energy now. She told me before she had almost zero. Now she can do things. So that's great. Who else has a win?
Okay.
Hey, Deb.
This is just one thing I wanted to share with a product win. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Isla has a client down in Southern California that has an extreme rare brain cancer that's highly aggressive, and the doctors told him there's nothing they can do about it. And he was, basically he's dying, and his memory was going, and he was beginning to not know where he was and had no energy. So we put him on a lot of product, and within a week, the family is very excited because his memory's coming back. He wants to go to work again, and he's getting mental clarity already.
Wow.
Wow.
Is he on massive amounts, Deb? Is he on massive? I'm guessing he's on massive amounts. What's he? Tons of product?
Massive amount. Is he on massive amount?
Well, not as massive as you would think, but yeah, quite a bit.
And that's a brain cancer situation?
Yes, it's a very rare. There's only like 1 or 2% of the population ever gets it. It's an extremely aggressive,
Wow.
and they have no cure for it.
Oh,
Except NeoLife.
Well, it's not cured yet, but it's getting better already. So.
And NeoLife doesn't cure anything.
That's right.
All that NeoLife does is give your body the nutrition it needs so that your body can produce the miracle and cure itself.
Right.
Good word.
who else has a win? Okay, well then should we move to the next one, Daniel? Should we go on?
Sure, unless you have a win you want to share, Bob.
Okay, well, this can be personal or business. And
Yeah.
For personal, Thursday, I had more fun than a barrel of monkeys with my granddaughters. I haven't sweated that much in a long time. I was just dripping. They all want horsey back rides, and then after that, they all want to be on my shoulders and run around the house. So I was just dripping with sweat, and so that was really, really fun. And then I have another win this afternoon at 4 o'clock. I'm supposed to meet with 2 couples to show them our business opportunity. I've never done that before, or maybe once in all these years. I'm almost always on product. But this couple, the husband loves the product. He's been on it forever. He's very gifted in his profession. And he and his wife and his best friend who works with him want to look at our business. I mean, I was really amazed because I'm usually just on product, but they want to look at the business. So that's pretty exciting. That's at 4 o'clock today.
All right.
Whoa, great.
Yeah, and so it's a win also to have Mark on here from Iowa. You'll hear from him later. I've been after him for probably 12 months to get on here. So we're so happy to have Mark, and he'll be in the second part of the meeting. But right now, I want to introduce Shawn Boone. Shawn is a 90-day challenge winner and then a 1-year challenge winner. And Shawn has won a combined $4,000 in cash, product, and prizes. That's what the challenge winners get. and he lost over 100 pounds and has had massively life-changing health improvement. And so Shawn is with us all the way from Florida, and let's give him a huge welcome. Shawn, we thank you for coming on and sharing your story with us.
No problem.
How much were you when you started?
Woo! I was a house. I was 375 pounds, so I was pretty big. I was really scared. I was very big.
And why were you scared, Shawn? Tell us that.
I couldn't move. I mean, if I walked from 20 feet from here to my car, just to get to my car, I was out of breath. It was like I walked a mile or ran a mile. I mean, I was out of breath. I had to gather myself just to catch my breath from walking 20 feet. I mean, I couldn't walk. My leg was so swollen, my back, my injuries, I couldn't walk. I was so scared. I mean, I thought I was going to die. I mean, I thought I was a walking heart attack or a stroke. I thought I was going to die.
And so you got off over 100 pounds, right?
Yeah, I lost 110. I'm at 265 right now. My goal was 220, so I got 45 pounds left to go, and I'll be at my goal. Which is
that's great. And Shawn, you know, you said you could barely walk 20 feet. How is your energy now?
Good. Now, I mean, I go to the gym at least. I work out. I don't go to the gym now because of what's going on. I work out every day. I exercise and I do a routine every day to be able to function, just to be able to function. I mean, I ride a bike now. I mean, I ride around my complex on a bicycle. I can stand up and cook. I can do dishes. I can clean my house. It's amazing. I got so much energy. I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's just like, woo, I got so much energy. It's still dark outside. I'm ready to do stuff, and I read books. I never read books. I didn't even read a book in school. I never read a book. I read books every day. I learn. I want to improve myself. I want to learn about nutrition so I can help everybody get healthy and feel the way I feel. I feel great. I feel amazing. This is the best I've felt in as long as I can remember my life.
That is fantastic, Shawn. What did your doctor say about your blood work compared to his?
My doctor, he got his blood work, and I said, "How's my blood work?" He said, "Shawn, your blood work is better than mine. What are you doing?" He's like, "Your blood work is better than mine. Just keep doing what you're doing." Okay, and then I went to a diabetic specialist, which is an endocrinologist, and he said the exact thing. He was like, "Shawn, whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. I have nothing to tell you." I love patients like you. You actually do what you're supposed to do, and you just take it and knock it out the box. He said, "I have nothing to tell you to do. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great."
Wow. And you're a type 1,
Yes.
and you said that you used to use 80 to 100 units a day, right?
I would use more than that. I was taking, I'd say with each meal, I was taking between 40 and 45 units every meal. So that's times 3. I was taking, and now it's about, I don't even take half of that. I take between like 8 and 12 units per meal now. And it's great. It's just so great. I feel so great. I have so much energy. I'm just learning everything about nutrition and how not to buy processed food. I've learned a system in the supermarket, which is, stay on the outer rim. Don't go on the aisles. The only reason you need to go on the aisles when you're going to get some seasoning or something like that, or ketchup and stuff like that, but that's it. All that stuff in the aisles, boxed food, processed food, is bad. If you can leave it on the shelf for a year and it don't go bad, that's not nothing you want to eat.
Right. And Shawn, you were telling me, how is your HDL and your LDL?
Oh, my HDL, they're all great. All my numbers are where they need to be. I mean, they've dropped in points, which is great. My doctor said it's great. So, I mean, all my numbers are great. My A1C, it used to be at the high 7 range. Now I'm in the 5s. I had my last one was 5.9. So, I mean, I'm doing pretty good with that. Actually, I'm doing great with that. So all my numbers are great. My blood pressure, my doctor said my blood pressure is at the level of a kid. I took my blood pressure, it was 106/70. He's like, you have a blood pressure of a kid. He's like, your blood pressure is so low. I don't worry anymore. I used to stress all the time. These products, when I've started taking them, my stress level's going down. I'm much calmer. The swelling in my leg, I mean, it was 3 times as large as my right leg. I started taking the Pro Vitality and drinking the shakes, and within a week, my leg was so skinny. I thought I was gonna break it if I stepped on it. It was so thin. I woke up and I'm like, this is after 2 years of seeing my leg, 3 times the size every single day, praying that it would go down, and it wouldn't go down. And then I started taking this stuff, and within a week, I look at my leg and it's skinny. It's back skinny, smaller than my right leg. So I'm like, wow, what is in this stuff? And I just started ordering even more. I called Debra Campbell, which is the savior that was sent to me, and I called her and was so excited. I said, my leg is down, it's so small. I'm like, what is in this stuff? And I was just so excited, and I was like, I just gotta lose weight. I said, now if this makes me lose weight, I'm just gonna be ecstatic. So the first month I lost 30 pounds, 35 pounds, and I'm like, whoa! It was amazing. I was so excited. I got so motivated. Then I started going to the gym every day, working out. I was riding a bike. I was so happy.
Shawn, I remember you said before that you couldn't put your socks on and you couldn't stand in the shower. How's that?
No, like I keep it in my room. I have a shower chair that I had to lug into the bathroom, put it in the shower so I can sit on it to take a shower. I used to have to walk with a cane. They also put I had this brace that I had to walk with my leg, but I said no. He said, oh, you're going to walk with that for the rest of your life. I said, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I said, no, I'm not. You got to have power in your mind. You got to believe that you can do this. So I believed that I could do it. And I took that thing off. After a couple of weeks, I took it off. Going to the gym, took it off. I said, I'm not wearing that thing. And I worked out my leg, and now I work out my leg 3 times a day, every single day. I got to stay on it, or I'll relapse and I'll go back down. So I have to work it. I have to work it every day, but I go to the gym, my leg is much better. I mean, I couldn't walk on it at all, but it's much better now. It's great. It's actually
Awesome.
It's not better. It's great. Compared to the way it was, it's great.
Yeah. What's the change in your waist size you were telling me?
I was wearing a 46, 44, 46. Now I like to wear a 40, but I like to wear a 40, but I can wear a 38. I mean, but I like them a little big, but so my pant size went down to a 38. So I'm at a 38. My shirt size, I was wearing a 4X. Now I'm down to a 2X. I could wear 1X, but I like a 2X. So I wear a 2X because I like them a little loose. So I'm down to a 2X with the shirt, and it's just amazing. It's so amazing that I have so much energy and I feel so great. And now all I want to do is teach people about nutrition. It is the core. It's God, your nutrition. See, people mess up with that. It's God, then it's your nutrition. You have to be healthy. If you're not healthy, you can't help nobody. You have to be healthy first before you can go out and help the world, which that's what we're going to do in the trend. So that's just
Shawn, thank you so much. You know what I'm really impressed with, one, you're in only a week, you said your leg was the normal size in only a week.
Yep.
Wow. And then I don't know very much about diabetes, but I was told that while they need the insulin to get the blood sugar down, I was told it's not good to be using a lot. And here you've been able to cut yours way, way, way.
Yeah, like insulin will actually make you gain weight. So the less you take, the better. So you don't want to take a lot. That's why I was gaining weight, because I was taking so much insulin and plus eating. But now, I mean, I can go meals without even having to take insulin. Sometimes I don't even want to eat. Well, I'm not even on a diet, first of all. I have never been on a diet. I'm not with this. When I started this, I'm not on a diet, because I've learned that if you eat correctly, you don't have to be on a diet. I eat whatever I want as long as it's healthy, and I'm always under my numbers, always. Always under my numbers. I feel great. I mean, just eating healthy food is just changed my life. And I just want to change everybody's lives that I can touch and that I can get to understand that nutrition is the key to your happiness. I mean, it affects your mood. It affects how you are. It affects your whole life. People don't understand nutrition affects everything that you do, how you think, it affects your emotions. You have to start at the core, which is nutrition. And I'm going to teach everybody I can.
Okay. Shawn, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. We appreciate it very much. You guys, let's give him a hand.
Man. Anytime.
Okay. Thank you, Shawn.
Have a good one.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, you guys, our next speaker is Jamie Wilson. And I just want you to know Jamie and Carol are in our team top 5 this month. He and Carol are incredibly consistent. They're in their 10th consecutive month as director. They've placed nationally in the top 7 Achiever Club points. They have won both a gold and a silver medal. They've been invited to Brassfield Estates for advanced training with other top promoters and to spend time with the company's CEO, BP, and owner. Their sponsors, John and Debbie, found them at a health fair where they had a booth. We are extraordinarily blessed to have them in our teams. Jamie's going to take the next 5 minutes and tell his story. So let's welcome Jamie Wilson.
Hey, I just got to say, I love Shawn. I wish he was closer. I'd like to give him a hug.
Yeah.
If he's not like a diamond 3 yet, or 3 diamond, he will be soon.
Yes.
So yeah, anyway, Carol was walking through Grants Pass. She'd
I go to health fair.
the health fair, yes, and she had been to the ER twice with heart problems, and so she met John and Debbie and bought some stuff, came home with it, and she was looking it over, and maybe a couple of weeks later, she ended up in CCU with her heart. And she came home the next morning from the CCU, and I said, honey, you got all this stuff from NeoLife, and I didn't even know what it was called really, but I said, you bought all this stuff, why don't you try it? Because what the doctors are doing for you really doesn't look like it's working. And she did. And about 4 months later, she'd had no more heart problems. And so from that point, she started going like this to me, you come over here, you need to talk with these folks. And I was like, oh, honey, I'd love to, but I just can't. I can't take vitamins. I can't do that because I had a very bad kidney. And actually anyway, it's kind of a long story, but it was infected all the time. It was really a problem for me, and I was getting tighter and weaker as the years went by with his kidney.
He was in the ER also.
Yes, I'd also been to the ER. I'd been to the ER trying to take vitamins to get my kidney better, and it did not like it well. So I was really afraid to do anything with NeoLife, but when I went to a presentation and John did the presentation with the styrofoam cups, and I thought, that's what's hurting my kidney when I take vitamins. So I decided to change that up, and they were saying, no, you need to do this, need to do this. I thought, well, I'll try one. And I was very emphatic about one, and the one I picked was the carotenoid because it's got 2.5 pounds of non-GMO fruits and vegetables and to make every capsule. And I don't really like vegetables. So I thought, well, that's a place to start. And my idea of taking one was 1 or 2 a week, not 1 or 2 servings, but 1 or 2 capsules a week. And so I could tell it didn't hurt. It wasn't bothering my kidney to take them. And Carol kept saying, take more, and it's not enough. And she was right, it wasn't enough to really help. And I was resistant to do that, but she finally got me to come back and listen to John and Debbie again. And this time Bob was there, and they were saying, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. And so I said, okay, I'll go for the whole meal deal. You see, I'm a McDonald's fan, so I go for the whole meal deal. And but I went with a weight loss pack and Phyto Defense and Pro Vitality and maybe one or two other things I don't remember right now. But I fully expected that if I took all that, it was going to put me back in the hospital. I didn't really understand what the whole food nutrition was. But what I was really surprised and shocked with was after a day at work, instead of being so tired I was falling asleep in my chair by the end of a shift, or barely being able to drive home and then having to take a nap for an hour and a half or two every day. Once I started NeoLife, I was going home and picking up the chainsaw and going to work up on the mountain and having fun and doing a lot of things I hadn't been able to do for several years. And as I could tell it was healing my kidney, I went, this is just amazing what's in this stuff. Anyway, other people could see I was feeling better and doing better and were asking about it. And little by little, this thing just grew for us, and it's a fun business for Carol and I, and it's been world changing in our health situations. And we've got to see it be life changing for some of our closest friends too. And I'm really excited about that.
Okay. And what about, did you talk about your shoulder, Jamie?
Oh, sure. Yeah, my shoulder, actually my back's been much better also. My shoulder, I had hurt moving wood stoves around one day, and within a few days it was so sore I could barely move it. I couldn't raise my hand above this high.
For a year.
Actually almost two. And it was so sore. I love to split firewood with a maul and do all those good manly things, and I couldn't even make kindling. It was so sore all the time. It just hurt to do anything. And I was about a month into my NeoLife journey, and I was doing some work outside, and I had a big log that was in the way. I live in the woods, and so I cut the log up, but it was big diameter rounds. And once I had it cut up, it was still in my way. And so I thought, well, I'll see if I can put it into my truck. So I backed the truck up, and very tenderly at first, trying to protect that arm, I put things into the rounds into the truck, and there was a lot of them. So the truck was filling up, and pretty soon, by the time I was done with that, I was picking up those rounds like this and tossing them up over top of the truck. And felt really good, didn't hurt at all. So then I went to unload the truck at my wood shop, my wood shed there, and my split maul was sitting there. As I unloaded the truck, I looked at it 2 or 3 or 4 times, and I thought, I wonder. So once I had the truck unloaded, I went over and picked up the maul, and very tenderly at first started tapping that wood, and within about 5 minutes or so, I was doing a full swing with that maul and popping that wood apart. And I split wood for 90 minutes, and it felt great. Didn't have any sore shoulder that day, that night, the next day. And it was just exciting to me to be regaining use of this body.
Right on, right on. Stu is on this call too, Stu and Julie down in Santa Cruz, and they've had phenomenal Stu's hip, it reminds me a little bit, it's different joint, but now you got full use back. Think how limited you were, Jamie. You live in a country property, lots of forest around, and here you couldn't use your shoulder. This is definitely life-changing, right, Jamie? Huge.
Absolutely. I was getting so depressed, I was getting ready to sell the place and move into town.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
why be in the woods if I couldn't enjoy them?
A fate worse than death moving into town.
Yes.
And not only that, before you had no energy anyway. Didn't you tell me that when you get home, you just wanted to sleep?
Yes.
So, okay, so your kidney is better. That's huge. And your amazing sponsor right behind you, his kidney is better. And now your shoulder works, and now you have energy, massively life-changing. And you know, to your right there, your left, our right, you got the famous Nancy Reese that she runs between 1,000 and 2,000 PV, 1,000 and 2,000 every month. We should give her a hand. And then Rob over there, he runs as high, Rob and Sandy, as high as 2,700. So Jamie's building a great team. And look at that, you guys, you got 7 in the room there. There's Jenny, probably came on her Harley Davidson. And there's Jenny right
Her Harley is right out there in the driveway.
Okay, see? And I didn't even hear it, but I knew she probably came on it. So you guys, look at that. That's Southern Oregon, you guys. Look at that team down there. They did almost 17,000 last month. And they're changing lives. They're doing a great job. John and Deb could be Ruby in upcoming months. They had two last month, 2 directors. So, okay, well, we'll move on. Jamie, thank you for sharing that amazing story.
You bet.
Shoulders fine, energy good. Wow. And Carol's doing good too, and she can coach you better now, right?
That's right.
Very important. Thanks, Carol, and thanks, John and Debbie, for having that booth at the health fair. I'll just tell you guys right now, next month at our BOC, we have a 2 diamond that's going to speak. Charlotte Shelton for our BOC next at our next BOC, and she was got at a fair, just like John and Debbie got Carol and Jamie. And then the next year at a fair, Shelton's got Krause's, who are also 2 diamond distributors. So you guys, let's follow in John and Debbie's footsteps, and let's get more and more booths going in our team. We need to get a lot more booths out there so we can contact them.
We would, boy. We'd be doing booths every week if we could.
Okay, so right now, to introduce our next speaker, we have a dynamic nurse from Southern California who's a member of our health professionals panel. This month, she is number 4 in our team for personal volume. She is well loved, not just in our team, but company-wide. So to introduce our next speaker, please welcome the amazing, fabulous leader, Brent Chichester.
Thank you, everyone. Hi, Shelly. Okay. The next speaker, she's been called a dynamite on her team, but I was listening to Shawn, and he had another name for her, the Savior. So I'm going to add that there.
Okay.
Debra, she's a no excuse lady. She has overcome so many obstacles in her life, pushed forward, and her strong faith in God is her strength. She challenges herself daily and can get more done in 1 hour than most people in a week. She loves helping people. She has a teachable spirit. She has a strong testimony that she uses with confidence. Please help me welcome now someone with lots of wisdom. She's a savior, she is dynamite, and she's a Sapphire director, Debra Campbell. And by the way, before I go further, Debra and I were in Hawaii together, and I did something I've never done before. Paddle boat? Somebody help me out in there?
Yes.
Right. I took on the challenge with her, and we did it. I did it, I should say, with Debra being there and Bob was there. So welcome, Debra.
Thank you, Barbara. And I agree with Bob Pearson there, everything he said. You're amazing. And I was so blessed to be able to hang out with you and learn how to paddleboard, because I always wanted to do it, but I never really had the opportunity. And what gifts, that we get in this business to be able to go and try things like that. So excited for our future. And this team, this Breakfast of Champions has been amazing. I've been so excited to see people that I know and love, you know, that I went to leadership school with, you know, and so anyway, those are the things that are important, you know, is to follow the leaders, you know, to go where the leaders go. So I learned that, and I try to stick right next to my sponsor. I am with her as much as possible so that I can absorb, you know, all the gifts that she has. And, you know, I've been learning how to do presentations now on, you know, and make PowerPoints, and that's been exciting. You know, so I'm trying to get my feet wet with that. I said, I don't know why it is, but every time I get on a Zoom call, I like freeze when I got to do a presentation. But it's just like anything else. You just got to do it, and you just got to keep doing it until you're comfortable doing it, you know? So anyway, those are the things that are important, is just following the leader. And that's what I've tried to do. I was thinking about, you know, in the beginning, when I started NeoLife in 2013, I saw all these people excelling, you know, they were becoming directors and sapphire directors, and I was working away, a little busy bee, working away, and it just wasn't happening, you know. But what I think is a key to success in anything is consistency and persistence, you know. So, and there was a cliche that I heard a long time ago, is you can, prayer without works is dead. So you can sit there and pray to get things done all day long, but if you don't make the effort to get up and do it, you're not going anywhere. So I get up and I get going. Every situation that I'm in presents an opportunity to me. That's what I think about. Like the other day, for instance, I stopped to get, don't tell on me, a donut from this homemade donut shop, right? And I wanted a cup of coffee. So I go in there, they're homemade donuts. I wanted to try one. And when I left there, I had like an hour and a half layover to picking up my new student. And when I left there, I guess I dropped my work badge in the parking lot. It fell out of my pocketbook. And so I never check my messages on Facebook, my, you know, my little messenger messages from people that I don't know. I never like check that. You get these notifications. So I got home from work that morning, and the Lord prompted me to look at that. And it was the owner of a cafe in that plaza where I got a donut from. And he says, hi, I'm the owner of Bedrock Cafe. I found your work badge in my parking lot today. And I'm like, what? And I go look at my pocketbook, and sure enough, it wasn't where I keep it. And I'm like, only have an hour break, only an hour to rest and do whatever I got to do. And I'm like, now I got to drive all the way back across town and get my badge. So I went, and I was pressed, so I didn't have time to talk to him about NeoLife. So when I got back home and back on the bus and back where I could sit and message him, I messaged him back on Messenger, and he had put his phone number in the link for me to call him at work on his cell phone. Great opportunity, cell phone, right? So I message him and I say, well, it was so nice to meet you today, and thank you again for calling me about my badge. And I also am a business owner. And I said, and I'm looking for people to partner with me to help end the trend of chronic disease and illness. Are you open to hearing any information? So I take every engagement, every opportunity I have, I do that. Doesn't matter where I go, what I'm doing. If I'm talking to an insurance person with State Farm on the phone, they're, you know, signing me up for a new insurance, I present everywhere I go. I do that. You know, are you open? And so I have what's called Google Keeps on my phone. It's an app for notes and stuff. And it is so loaded with information. And I've put together my first contact list there, you know, to send somebody right immediately. And it's got the newest member of our family, the Vegan D video. It's got the 5 key criteria video. It's got the health pack 5 key criteria health pack video. It's got Louis' cellular nutrition animated video. And I typed up a whole format to, hey, here's a little bit about what I was sharing with you earlier. Can you take a look at this and give me a thumbs up so we can talk about what impacted you most about what you viewed when you're done? And so I just leave it at that, you know. and I give them time. I give them a couple days to view things. And I've been getting great response with that. I mean, people have been messaging me. And so, you know, that's what I do. Every opportunity. I'm in Sam's, I'm buying fish. One of my team members, she's about to break director. I'm so excited for Claudia Humphrey. And she's just a few hundred points away from being there. And I met her in the aisle at Sam's. I just got back from convention. So this is why it's important for events to be plugged in, to get motivated, to get psyched, to have all that energy, you know, of hearing about everybody's success. Because then when you go someplace and you're talking to somebody about NeoLife, you're excited and they see your enthusiasm. And who doesn't want to be part of that? You know, everybody wants to get on board with having fun, you know. So when I met Claudia, I'm like, tough decision, wild caught fish, what do we buy? I said, you know what, really, I have the best hookup. I just got back from convention in Seattle and I was at Pike's Market and I got a card and you can get overnighted seafood. I'm yet to do that, might I say. When was that? 2017? But it was an opportunity for me too to give her contact. That's just, the card is hanging on my refrigerator. So I hand her my phone on contacts. If you could put your information in for me, I'll take a picture of it as soon as I get home and I'll send it to you. So she did, and then we started talking. She's a nurse, she's fatigued, she's grumpy, you know, all this stuff. So I always carry samples with me. I always have I try to carry 6 Pro Vitality samples and 6 T samples, because I want to give somebody 3 days worth of energy, you know, to really let them get a taste of that. So, and I do an on-the-spot presentation with a pack of Pro Vitality. I do an on-the-spot. Let me share with you all about cellular nutrition. Let me share with you about a 68% reduction in inflammation in 8 weeks. Let me share with you all 8 of the omega family. You know, how it impacts your brain and your joints and the inflammation. Let me share with you the carotenoid complex, clinically proven to boost your immune system by 37% 20 days. So I do a whole little mini presentation just with that pack. And then Claudia told me that she was drinking coffee all day. She still couldn't hold her head up. I says, this little packet of tea right here, I said, this is going to change your life forever. And so I was trying to give her 3 days to call her. Didn't happen. She called me the second day. She said, I want what you got. Her husband told me that after the first day of the Pro Vitality and the tea, he thought he had a new wife because her whole attitude had changed, you know, because of the hormones, the cellular nutrition. So anyway, yep. So, you know, that's just important to me. That's how I've got to where I'm going. You know, I've not arrived yet. I'm still going there. You know, I just keep talking, sharing, handing out the little pamphlets. You know, I may be targeting somebody. Have you ever heard about cellular nutrition? And I'll hand them one of those, and a tea, and a Pro Vitality. And you know, but I don't do that unless they exchange information with me. You know, so yeah, every opportunity. I think I talked to 3 people yesterday in the process of going to Publix to get a prescription because my allergies in my eyes have just been crazy. Thought maybe I had pink eye, but it was just allergies. So I engaged with the person behind me, and I engaged with an elderly couple going out of the store that looked like they were really struggling to get their groceries to their car. So I put my stuff in my car and I went over to them and I asked if I could help them unload their groceries and load them. You know, that's what we're called to do, is love one another and be of service to one another. And it's all about relationships and really truly caring about other people, you know. So they said, no, you know, we're fine. We don't need any help, but thank you. The husband, you know, we're fine. But I could tell the wife was in pain and hurting. So I went back to my car and I got my business card, which our Thursday night meeting I have printed on the back of my business card, the location and the time, because every Thursday night Levon has a healthy living inspirations class at 6:30. And so that's on there. And I took her my card. I said, I just wanted to personally invite you guys to come to our health meeting on Thursday nights at 6:30. I think it could really benefit you. There's no charge, it's free, and come and learn and get empowered for some good health. And she was open to it. She told me her name. Her last name was Bean. And she said, I just had surgery and my leg is swollen and I'm in pain. I knew she was in pain. She could hardly walk, you know. But if I hadn't gone back and got that card, who knows? I don't know if she'll show up there or not. But, you know, I didn't have time to exchange information with her. But I just let her know somebody cared. That's all that mattered for that situation, you know. It's not always about getting the exchange of contact, you know. It's about really just showing people that you care about them and that you really truly want to see them get some help, you know. So anyway, yep, I have the most awesome mentors and sponsors, and they're all right here on this screen, you know, because they all inspire me. Everybody inspires me. Shelly, you know, I'm like, dang, if she can do it, I can do it. Like I did 2 5Ks. If she can get out there and exercise and do that, I'm going to do it, you know. So yeah, that's how it works for me.
Okay. I got a quick question for you. Claudia, that is almost to director. Tell us one more time how you met her.
I met her in Sam's grocery store in the frozen department. And actually, I delivered some product to another lady I met in the vitamin aisle at Sam's. Right after our convention this year when the vegan vitamin D was released. I said, I'm in Sam's, let me go down the poison aisle. And I started taking pictures of all the supplements in Sam's. I pick up the bottle, I take a picture of the front, take a picture of the ingredients, and I was going down the aisle. I started with, you know, their imitation pro vitality, their vitamin E, their fish oil. And I got all the way down to the end to the salmon oil. I mean, to the vegan vitamin D aisle, like where the vitamin D was. And this little old lady was standing there, well, not real old, but anyway, she was older. And you could tell she was kind of trying to make up her mind, you know, I said, you know, it's really too bad people don't know the truth about this aisle. And she looked at me, she says, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, that they only have to follow good manufacturing practices. You know, they only have to put 20% of what's on the label in the bottle. She goes, yeah, I know. She goes, I buy most of my supplements online. And I said, well, ma'am, I said, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but they do the same thing. I said, and I know this because I work with the top nutritional research company in the world. So I get the truth from the top scientists in the world. And I said, and we just released the newest member of our family, vegan vitamin D. Oh, she says, I'm vitamin D deficient. I have to take vitamin D. And I says, well, most of the population is like 75 to 90% of the population is deficient in vitamin D. I said, it's important we have vitamin D receptors all over us, our head, our heart, our muscles, everything. I said, would you be open to me sending you a video? She says, oh, absolutely. I said, hand her my phone. I said, well, if you'll put your information in here, then I'll send you a video right now before we even leave this aisle. And then you can review it and then we'll talk. Well, I sent her the first contact videos that I had, my little listing, and we departed. And I gave her a little bit more time because she was a little older. You know, I thought she might need some more time to look at things than 2 or 3 days. So before the week was over, she called me and she told me she wanted to lose 80 pounds. And how did she get started? So, you know, those videos, that little contact thing is the bomb, you know, and you need to really just let them draw them in and let them be part of you getting their contact information and handing them your phone. You know, I've only had a couple people, maybe 4 or 5 at the most, that said, no, I'm not interested. Or they'll just put their email in and I'll say, is there a chance that you can add your phone number to that? Because I know people don't check their emails as often as they do their text messages, and I'd like to send this to you right now. And like I said, I've only had like 3 or 4 people ever say no. And so I had a team member's husband that was sharing with me last night when we were fellowshipping. He said, I think this approach here It's a really good approach because it takes the pressure off of people. So I'm going to try this. And what he said is, would you be against joining me? Because I always say, you know, would you like to partner with me and help end the trend of would you like to partner with me and help end the trend of chronic disease and illness? And he says, well, try this, because this takes the pressure off of them feeling like they need to give you a yes or no answer. He said, would you be against joining me in helping end the trend of chronic disease and illness? He said, that's a different approach to that question. So I'm going to try that. But yeah, I constantly make that statement to people, you know, because I am on a mission to end the trend of chronic disease and illness. And then if I feel led to, I said, and poverty.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a business opportunity too. And I don't know, you know, who would be interested. And a lot of people I've been talking to and getting out in the public now and getting out more, they say, well, we've been closed for 3 months. You know, we just opened the 18th of August. And I go, and how did that affect you financially? I said, because I know I'm a school bus driver and my paycheck was cut in half. If I didn't have this health and wellness business that I've been knitting and sewing and weaving into my life for the past 7 years, I probably would have had my house in foreclosure and lost my car. I said, but God sent me the most remarkable opportunity. And I knew when it was presented to me that it was true. First off, it was true. It was not just some marketing idea or fad or here today, gone tomorrow. It's a 62-year-old company in 50 plus countries, and it's solid rock truth. Because that's what the truth is. It stands on the rock.
Right.
You know, so anyway, yeah. So I have Claudia, 2 people, and Sam's. And then Shawn I met through his son. You know, I had a car accident. And his son was telling me, I was sharing with him, I said, man, you look buff. I said, you know, do you take protein shakes? And he's like, well, I do. I said, well, do me a favor and quit taking what you're taking before it kills you and try what I have to offer you. And he was open to hear it. And then he started sharing with me about his dad and how his dad had been real struggling with his diabetes and this and that, and how he brought him down here and was trying to help change his lifestyle. And so I gave him some samples and he took them home, and his dad was in bed and he laid him on the chair. And Shawn, you know, when him and I first talked, we talked for 2 hours the first day we talked. I didn't know him. You know, we just started sharing and talking and finding out about each other. And he told me that he had been earnestly praying for 2 weeks, you know, or longer, for God to send him some help because of the way he was feeling. Then he got up and I was on his chair.
And if you had, so it's a good thing you got in that car wreck and totaled your car, because then you went to his son.
Yeah, that's what he said.
And then you went to his son's car lot and you got a car, and then his son said, well, you said, hey, you look buff, you use shakes, blah, blah, blah. And would you be willing to try this or hear about this? And then he tells you about his dad, who's been praying for 2 weeks earnestly. And then only a week after his dad was on it, his leg, which had been 3 times bigger than normal, was in normal size.
Yes,
and
he called me and he's like, Deborah, he said, I can't believe this. Exactly what I've been needing is in this stuff.
Man alive. And then now he's cut his insulin way down, losing 110 pounds. That's huge benefit for his long-term health. And now he's got so much energy and became the weight loss champion. That's an incredible story.
Yes.
That's an incredible story. And then Claudia is almost to director, and you met her at Sam's?
I met her at Sam's.
And then you gave her samples? Is that how that started?
Yes. I always, when I'm doing that, I do a little, like maybe plan a 15-minute, 10-minute presentation, 6-minute. And I always give samples. I give 3 Pro Vitality and like 2 tea packets, but I gave her and her husband both 3 of each. And yeah, she was calling me in 2 days.
And then now on her, I forget, you said her hormones are way better. That was one thing. Was there 1 or 2 other big improvements?
She had some female things going on that got straightened out as well.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. And she's
And I
almost,
think I have Claudia's testimony recorded. So if anybody, wants it, that I can probably get it and send it to you.
please send it to me. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear it. Go ahead, Deborah, quick.
I just wanted to send some love out to Sean Boone too, because he lost his mother a couple days ago.
Yes. Yes.
And
Well, Deborah, thanks for wrecking your car, and then having the guts to talk to his son, and boy, look where that led. We're very impressed. You guys, let's give her a huge hand to thank her for sharing with us. Thank you, Deborah.
thank you.
That was fabulous, fabulous. Thank you.
One thing, Bob.
Yeah.
Hi, Deborah. This is John
Hi.
Chambers and Debbie Musette.
John.
We were at leadership school together,
Yes.
and the entire time, everyone knew that Deborah Campbell was going to be a star because you were an inspiration to all of us, even at leadership school. So thank you
Aw.
very much for being here.
Thank you. You guys were me too. I love you guys.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you so much. That was
Thank you.
fabulous. And Jamie, I just got a text. Could you just real quick, minute or less, tell us what products you're on? You got your shoulder back. You got your energy back. Somebody asked me, what products do you take?
I was doing a weight loss, so the shakes and the Pro Vitality, the extra salmon oil, and the the Vital Defense were the main things that I was taking, and it didn't take long before that really did a great work. And one other thing I was going to mention, I started put in my order right in the last day or two of September last year, and I work with a hospital, and they have their own insurance plan set up, and they have a thing where if you're in good enough shape that they give you a discount on your insurance. So the year before, I went in thinking, I probably might qualify for a discount, and they kind of giggled, and cute young lady goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, Chaplain, that ain't gonna happen, You're too roly-poly, your cholesterol's out of whack, you got this, you got that, nice try." And well, 2 months after I started NeoLife, I went in and tried it again. And she looked at the numbers, and she did this and she did that, and she goes, "Wow, you qualify for a $360 discount on your health insurance this month, or for this year." So I was excited.
That is awesome. And how much salmon oil did you take, Jamie?
What was that?
How much salmon oil did you take?
I would take as much as 6 a day, and as little as 1 or 2. It would vary. If I was working a lot, I would take more. If I was working less, I'd take less.
Okay, very good. Thanks for sharing that story. And you guys, Jamie there, $360 discount because of his dramatically improved health situation. I should tell you that Deborah's upline, Louis Smith, 2 Diamond, he's about 62 or 3. And his insurance company they said, "You are the first guy in the entire history of this company that we wrote a policy on a 62-year-old rated as a 25-year-old. And Louis is a past cancer survivor. They said, because of your age and your history, a cancer case, terminal cancer case, to be writing this policy, they were just shocked because he's 62, but his blood work, his lab work, his biological age shows 25. Can you believe that, you guys? What better proof? Our product. And Mark Ritchie's on this call. Mark is about, I think Mark told me he's 75 or 76, and I think Mark might have the energy of about a 50-year-old. Mark does really well too. So, and Jamie, are you 104 or how old are you? Can you hear me, Jamie?
Years, maybe 14 on the mental part.
Yeah, you were muted during the beginning of that. 67 biological years.
Okay.
Yeah, 67.
Okay, very good. Okay, well, you guys, we might not be able to get all our speakers in. This has been really, really, really rich, but we'll go to our next star. We have another world team member. Debra, that just spoke, is a world team member. We have another one, this time from the Wisdom Builders team, and she was personally trained by none other than the amazing Josh and Chelsea Clark, our next speaker. She's fearless, dynamic, valiant, and courageous. She's on her church worship team. She's a fitness trainer, a homeschool mom, and has a fantastic husband and 2 very cute kids who are also being mentored in our business. I think her son Levi is VP of operations, and her daughter Vivian might be co-director of marketing and community relations, but I know she's being mentored, and they turn in leads to their mom. They're scouts for their mama. Shelly built quickly and was able to retire from her profession in her early 30s. She makes enough with her part-time NeoLife business that she's able to leave her career. Very impressive. She has more opportunity for growth and more freedom and flexibility for her and her family, and enormous earning potential. Her health and energy have improved dramatically since getting on our products. I'm eager for you guys to hear both her health story and how she does it. She's driving a lovely vehicle. She's inspiring, fun, and will share her tips for success with us. Now, I want to encourage you guys to share her content. Take careful notes. Share this with your friends who may want to bring in an extra 500 or 1,000 or 4,000 a month part-time, because when this dynamic world team member is done today, your friends will know exactly what to do to earn substantial amounts of money part-time through helping educate others on their health needs and through sharing our phenomenal, literally life-changing products. Shelly's life was changed dramatically, like Jamie's was, and Debra's, and the almost director that Debra met at the grocery store, his life was changed big time. That extra income can help our friends' families. Now, please welcome the dynamic, articulate, well-spoken, valiant, and courageous Sapphire Director, Shelly Lazone.
Well, thank you so much, you guys. I am so inspired by this incredible team. I mean, I know, Bob, you so kindly asked me to speak so that, Lord willing, somebody would get some inspiration or encouragement or something, but I feel so encouraged and so inspired, and I'm like ready to rock and roll. I would love to be a part of your team, but I'm just so glad to be here. Thank you for asking me to speak, and I'll go ahead and jump in. I know we're short on time. I'll make it quick. But so it all started from getting a phone call from a principal from my son's school in kindergarten. We had just started school, just moved here from Southern California, and 2 weeks into school, I get a phone call from the principal saying, your son has gotten in a fight with another Levi. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is devastating. I don't know anybody. Here we are, you know, getting in a fight right away. I need to meet this other boy's mom and apologize. And I was so desperate to do that because I was new, and and I'm thinking to myself, this is not like my son. This is so weird. So long story short, I end up meeting the mom, who is now an incredible person. We meet their entire family, Josh and Chelsea Clark. And when I met her, she was carrying a baby, she was holding hands with her 2-year-old, and then she had the other 4 in school. And we're on a field trip, and she's fit and she's calm. And I was like, what is wrong with this lady? Why isn't she going crazy or look like she's annoyed or, all those typical things that you would think a mom of 6 would, be exhausted. And anyway, so I said, so how do you do it? And I'll never forget. She's like, what do you mean? How do I do it? It's just what I do, and the Lord's given me this gift to be a mom. This is my calling. And, I work out, I'm a trainer, I'm this and I'm that. And I'm like, wow, okay, I have 2. I need to stop complaining. I need to get my act together, and all these things started running through my mind. So then she found out I was a hairstylist. Well, they had just moved from Georgia, and she didn't know many people. And so she comes to sit in my chair. And as you women probably most know, that when you're in a chair getting your hair done, you're the one doing the talking, right? Your stylist is the one getting to know you for the most part. Well, that day, it was the other way around. And Chelsea kept asking me questions about me. And I'm like, this is so weird, but it was so natural. And we just hit it off right away. And I was telling her about all of my health issues, you know, that I was enduring in my early 30s to mid 30s at that time. And I just kept complaining to her, like, you know, I have degenerative disc disease and I'm in constant excruciating pain every single day. And it's getting worse. I see a chiropractor 3 days a week. It's very expensive. We pay out of pocket. And I'm, you know, and I was doing some workouts, but nothing was helping. And so then I kept going. She kept asking me more questions. And I went into how I get headaches every month due to my cycle. My hormones were off after having children. You know, I had horrible varicose veins that were excruciating most days. Doing hair, you're standing all day, so you have that pressure. And I couldn't wait to sit down. Like, I couldn't wait for my day to be over so that I could just put my feet up. And depending on who you were in my chair, if I felt comfortable enough, we were good friends, or you're part of my family, I would ask, can I put my foot up on the arm of your chair while I'm doing your hair? Just to get relief. And I thought, okay, this is what everyone talks about. Like, the older you get, the more uncomfortable you get and the more pain you're in. And I thought to myself, you know, I was telling my husband, Gary, I'm like, this is not how it's supposed to be. I just know it. Like, you don't, there's got to be another way. And so I searched for different products that could help with all of these issues that I had at such a young age. And I was always hesitant because I didn't want a product or a supplement to make my heart race. I have a sensitive sinus node, and the doctors used to tell me, you know, don't drink a lot of caffeine, stay away from chocolate, don't take Benadryl, things like that. And so trying to find something to alleviate my pain and all this stuff, on top of all of that discomfort, I had low energy. So we know the combo, if you know, unfortunately, it's not a good combination. And so Chelsea was so bold, and that has actually taught me a lot with how she treated me. You know, I think that that's something that we need to think about. How are we treating our prospects? How are we treating the people that we're talking to? Do we just, you know, up and leave them because they're not replying? Do we up and leave them because they told us no? You know, or are we bold? Like Debra was sharing with us today, she finds every opportunity to share. And I think that's because, one, she's hungry, but two, her why is bigger than her negative comments that she might get from somebody, or somebody who tells her no. You move on, in a sense, you know, you never leave them, but mentally you're like, nope, my why's bigger. This is what I want, and I'm going to keep going. So long story short, I started on the products right away. I used the breakfast pack. Within 2 weeks, I noticed a huge difference, one, in my energy, but also in the pain in my back was subsiding substantially. And I'm like, telling my husband, like, honey, this is like amazing. I feel better. I'm starting to have less pain in my back. I'm like, I don't know what it is. You know, Chelsea's just been teaching me a little bit here and there, but I gotta stay on these products. So within a month, I had no headache. That was the first month I didn't get a headache. And I was starting, you know, like I said, I just could feel the difference in my back. I mean, it would be so bad that I would lean up against I worked from home doing in a salon, and I would lean up against my door and just rub my back, or run in the kitchen and get ibuprofen or something to take the edge off. And so I noticed a dramatic difference in my health. So I thought, oh my gosh, I'm telling my husband this, okay? And I'm like, I feel so good. I cannot keep this to myself. I need to get out there. I need to tell my friends. I need to tell my family. And all these people started coming into my mind. And I thought, I got to share with them. I have, you know, I feel this good. I need to share it with them. I know what they're going through with what they shared with me. Why would I hold it back? That's selfish of me. So I did that. I immediately got my 3 for free. I thought, you know, 3 for free would be great. Not for me, so to speak, but more so for my husband, because he didn't like that I was, you know, we were paying for this breakfast pack monthly. You know, he's like, this is expensive, you know? And I said, honey, you get what you pay for, right? This stuff works and I need to be on it. Please listen to me. So I got my 3 for free. And then my husband really started noticing, like, I think it was the 2nd month I was in, I'd have to look back now, but he was even saying like, okay, this is working for you. This is something that, you know, you're going to need for the rest of your life. And I said, yeah, I'm only getting older. You know, I'm going to need this. And so I told him, I said, I really want to do this this business. So he gave me the blessing to do that. Now he didn't want to have anything to do with it, right? He's just like, you do you. He knows I'm, you know, crazy and wild and I have all these crazy dreams and I, you know, want to get out there and I'm driven and I'm self-motivated. And I said, I'm going to do this. This is going to be awesome. So he's like, okay, well, you know, just buy the least expensive business kit then. And I'm like, oh, but you only get this. At the time it was $50. And, you know, I think you got like maybe a sample of the breakfast pack, like in the packets. I don't even remember. And so I said, oh, okay, well, whatever gets me in, right? So I was in. Well, then I was like, shoot, people need samples. How am I going to do this? So then I started buying all of this product, over $2,000 in product to sample, to try for myself as well, because I wanted to try it. I'm that type of person. I want to try it before I sample it. And so he looks at the bill and he's like, why did you spend that much money? And I said, well, honey, I told you I needed samples. We should have just bought the $1,500 kit. That was $1,500, the biggest senior manager kit at the time. And he's like, oh my gosh, yes. Like, why did you do that? And so that's kind of like our story is he didn't understand, nor did I go to him and say, these are the different packs. I was just so pumped to go. I just wanted to go. Can we just move forward here? And so, you know, like I said, I just got my foot in the door and I took off. So, you know, now it's comical, right? Gary's like, we should have bought the biggest pack, knowing you and how you work. I should have just invested in buying. So we did. So we were able to get that senior manager kit, and actually it lasted several months, up to 6 months, with us using it and us sampling it. So it is worth every penny. I know you can make your own kits now, which is amazing, but it sets you up for success right out the gate, starting at that 20%. So that's kind of the gist of my story. And today I am pain free. Praise the Lord. I do take additional products now. I'm getting close to the entire catalog of taking every product. I'm sure as many of you, you know, have been in the business for a while. It's like I just continue to learn, and I'm a very proactive person. I want to take before I'm diagnosed with something so that I can be ahead of the game. And not to say I won't ever be diagnosed with something. Let's be clear on that. But I'm going to do whatever I can to improve my health, to be top-notch health, and you know, go from there. The Lord's got the rest of that, right? But so yeah, so that's our health and business story. I will say just really quickly about my husband's health story. He, you know, I never nagged him to take the products, but I encouraged him. I said, honey, I need you around. I want you around for our family. I've learned enough about these products to know that you need them. And finally, shortly after telling him that information, really, he agreed. And he has never missed a day since then. And that was over 4 years ago now. And he has noticed a huge difference. He is a extreme athlete. He mountain bikes, he surfs, he runs, whatever toy he has, he'll get on it. But he has noticed a huge difference in his mountain biking. I mean, his friends ask him, like, how are you this fast? I mean, his joy is to go uphill. And I'm like, you are crazy. Everyone likes to go downhill. That's the fun part. But he loves to go up and sees a huge difference in his exercise every single day just by using the breakfast pack. So.
Kelly, you said that when you started, you had to drink coffee all day long just to keep going, so tired.
Yes. I forgot about that part. Thank you. Yes, in fact, my older sister was the same way. We would just literally make probably 2 pots of coffee a day. And that's mine and my husband in the morning. But then I would just drink coffee all day long, like you said, just to get that little perk of energy. But then we all know with that, you have, you know, the low, right? You have all this energy, and I take a nap before I go pick up my son from school. I mean, man, I wish I knew about this sooner, right? I swear I hear that so much with this family. I wish I knew about it sooner. And if I could remember that when I'm out sharing and looking for opportunity, I don't want to waste another day without sharing it with somebody. So.
Great. You know, since you've had such great success, I hope we can have you back to share more on, you know, things they should do. But can you tell us just real quick how much joy it is to see your kids being mentored by the NeoLife family, and how they give you leads, so-and-so needs product, mom? Because you said that's a rewarding, fulfilling thing to see, right?
100%. Yes. That has been, you know, what's so interesting is I'll never forget, I was in Josh and Chelsea's RV heading to spring retreat, our first one, and Marjorie was with us. And I just remember sitting next to her in the RV, just taking notes, learning from her, and hold on, Marjorie, let me write this down, you know, and she told me kind of under her breath, you know, this is also good for your kids. Kind of like that, kind of like, this is also good for your kids. And I'm like, my kids, what do my kids have to do with this? I get the chills every time I think about this, because I 100% agree. I listen to podcasts every single day throughout the day. I'm crazy in that sense. I'm constantly putting things between my ears, because the one thing that, you know, happens every day is the enemy wants to distract me, discourage me, and I don't have time for that. And, you know, not today, Satan. So I put things in between my ears so meaning I'll do it in the car. My kids are in the car, and we'll get in, and Levi's like, okay, which one should we listen to? Simon Chan? I bet he has a new one. That's his favorite, Simon Chan, MLM Nation. Oh yeah, let's see. Oh no, he doesn't have a new one. Let's go to Ray Higdon. Okay, yeah. No, that's only 5 minutes. Let's go to, what's his name? Todd Falcone. Or, I mean, and he'll pick up things like, you know, we're at the store or something, and he'll say, hey, Mom, over there, and, you know, it looks like that person's not feeling well, or, you know, whatever. And I'm like, oh gosh, you know, and I wasn't in the right mindset. And then he brings me back, and I'm like, oh, okay, bring it together. It doesn't matter how I feel. I need to go and act, right? Because we all go off of how we feel of anything, you know? So anyways, they are a huge inspiration to me, but also I can tell that they're just picking it up. So
how old is Levi? Because you said it sounds like he likes Simon Chan and Todd Falcone and the others you listen to. How old is he?
Yeah, he's now 11.
Okay, and does Vivian like them too, or mainly Levi likes them?
He does, but I will say that Levi is definitely more drawn to it.
Okay.
I've even found him listening to CDs that Josh has given me from, you know, I mean, we have a whole stack of CDs, and he'll listen to different podcasts, whether it's Lawrence Clark or it's Josh and Chelsea, or, I mean, I have so many, and I find him listening to them in his room all by himself at night. And just inspiring him in school, you know, what you tell yourself every single day is what you will become. Little things like that I've learned through podcasts, you know, and it goes for anybody in anything that you do, even a child, you know. We become what we think about all day long, you know, and it's so true. So anyway, if you want me to share a couple nuggets of how to build to director, and I don't know what you have time for.
Right. Well, do you think we could have you back another time?
Of course.
Okay, good, yeah. Good. And that's got to give you so much joy and fulfillment to see your kids grasping and being inspired, right? Huge, right? Because that's excellent mentoring going in their minds.
Yes. And sometimes it's funny, because sometimes Levi's like, oh, did you learn that only through network marketing, Mom? I mean, we're talking about school here, or friends, or whatever it may be. And I'm like, I did. thankfully I did. You know, it has to do with every aspect of life, not just our business here at home.
What a thrill. What a
Truly
thrill.
amazing.
What a
Truly
thrill.
amazing.
Okay. I've got several more speakers. So Shelley, that was phenomenal. It was absolutely excellent, superb, as I expected. And we're so grateful to Shawn and to Deborah and to you. Thank you, because you really enriched our team. Deborah, thanks. And Shawn and Shelley, excellent. Very, very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. Thanks for your inspiration.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, Ramona, are you there? Ramona, I think since we're running low on time, can we have you just do the vitamin A? Would that be okay, Ramona?
Sure, I can. Or I was going to talk about the vitamin B. There are some good things that were happening in our family with vitamin B. Can I do that?
Yeah, if you prefer that, do that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I've been taking vitamin B for a while now, but it's amazing on what vitamin B can do. So it stressed. You're very stressed, it helps that. Irritability, nervousness, depression, suicidal, PMS, fatigue, low energy, lack of appetite, insomnia, which is a big one for me, high cholesterol, artery disease, high blood pressure, skin disorders, so dryness like cracks in the side of your mouth, shingles, and nausea. So on just that alone for myself, I take my B complex at night to help me sleep. But something, oh, and also for hair, eyes, skin, pregnancy, like my hair is growing, it stopped growing for the longest time. And then it's healthy nerves, your nervous system, your heart. But the big thing was even the mood is a big thing. So this is only 4 days ago, my youngest daughter texts me and says that her boyfriend's in really bad shape. He's has lifelong anxiety and depression. He has extreme OCD. And she texts me and she says, Noah can't get out of bed. His anxiety's through the roof. I think we need to tweak his medication. And I said, okay, honey, do you have salmon and B complex with you? And she goes, yes, I do. I said, okay, give him 5 salmon and 5 B complex. I talk to her every day, and day 3, he is out of bed and feeling energized.
Wow.
In 3 days. Yeah. It's amazing.
It is amazing.
It's amazing.
I bet he's shocked too, isn't he?
He's shocked.
Wow, that is thrilling. Okay. So can we have you do the vitamin A next time maybe, Ramona?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And like I said, Brent and Ramona, those are some upcoming directors there. Ramona had about 7 on her Zoom last month. And the second one, Brent and Ramona did, they had 10 to 12. So thank you guys for what you're doing up there in Canada. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And John, we're gonna have to have you on next week, and I mean next BOC. So you'll have to speak with Charlotte Shelton. You'll have to be on with her. And Mark, could you take 2 or 3 minutes, and then Brent, we're probably gonna have to go for next time with your section too. All our speakers were superb. I just didn't give them quite enough. I didn't budget enough time. So, but we're so grateful to the speakers. So grateful. Mark, could you tell 2, 3, 4 minutes of your story, and then I'll close with our recognition, what everyone's done this month.
Yes, this is my first time, so
welcome.
You have to put up with me.
Welcome.
Well, anyway, welcome to the desolate NeoLife state of Iowa. We've never been able to get on the chart there at NeoLife. I don't know what it is, but we're trying to change that trend. Everyone around us are doing well, Missouri, Minnesota, Illinois. So I'm sure with my new distributor, Franklin, we can change that trend, right?
Yeah. And Franklin's on here.
Yes, he is. He's a great guy. You're going to have to get acquainted. Well,
Yeah.
I want to tell you a little bit about our challenge. And that is, on your journey, you're going to have to realize you're going to have some extreme disappointments. When we started, we got a director right away, and he was doing really well. He decided to go up to Des Moines and to a health seminar he heard on the radio, and they convinced him that this vitamin stuff was garbage. And so out he went. There was my base, just like that. So if you don't have a really deep conviction and an understanding of this product, you won't last. So my thing is, realize that what you have is the best. There's nothing better. It's made right. You don't have to be checking on it all the time, and you can say it with confidence, and you'll be there with them forever. So how did I get started? I got started with Lauren Brink, and he had gone to a NeoLife meeting. He signed up because his wife, Barbara, had varicose veins. She couldn't stand on a hard surface for more than 5 or 10 minutes. And he brought them to her. She started taking them, and within a couple of weeks, she was standing on hard surfaces for 2 or 3 hours at a time. Unheard of. And she'd had them stripped a couple times. We've been praying for her for a long time. So that's how I kind of got started. And that time, I was a 13-year-old. So I had quite a bit to learn. And since 13-year-olds don't get into it real heavily, when I got married, I married a lady that didn't understand vitamins and thought the only place to go when you had a problem was to the hospital. And she had polio at 8 years of age. So her weakness is in her legs, and they say it always comes back later on. Well, she's now closing in on 80, and it's starting to bother her a little bit more. But I thank the Lord for the 50 years we've had with relatively really good time. The only solution the hospital had was a psychiatrist there. They said it was all in her head. Well, it wasn't. So I just thank the Lord for the 50 years we've had with that not being a significant problem. So anyway, moving on, my daughter, mother-in-law, Pat, I had talked to her about the vitamins, but she, oh yeah, all right, that sounds good. But she had rheumatoid arthritis, and she was going to the doctor, and they were prescribing all these. And she said, I don't want to be on drugs. I don't want these things. Is there any other way? And they said, no. So she thought, well, I'll change my eating habits. So she did, but her arthritis got worse to where she was having to crawl to the bathroom. Well, she was desperate. She called my daughter and said, can I talk to your dad about those vitamins? She said, sure. So she called me. I put her on a regimen that cost around $750. And she said, I feel so terrible. Mark, I'll do anything. I said, well, the only thing you got to promise me is that you will take them religiously. Otherwise, I won't know how to adjust it as we go along. She said, okay, I'll do that. So she started taking them. And within a week and a half, she was walking to the bathroom.
How old was she, Mark?
She was around 55.
And having to crawl to the bathroom because severe arthritis.
Very severe.
Incredible, incredible.
And so I talked to my daughter, and she said, guess what Pat's doing? I said, what? She's walking dogs for other people for extra cash.
Wow, she couldn't walk, dude.
That was just totally incredible. So yes, we've had a lot of successes, and the last one I'll tell you about real quickly was a couple at church. I could see that they needed some help, and so I talked to them about it, and they said, we don't take vitamins. I said, oh, well, would you take my catalog? and put it on your coffee table. I mean, it's a good piece, looks nice. And they said, okay. So they took it and put it on their coffee table for a couple of weeks and brought it back. So I thought, well, this is over. About 4 months later, the lady called me and said, is there any chance I could buy some of those old people's vitamins? I said, sure. And so she bought a box, and she called me a week later and she said, do you mind if we buy another box? My husband's taking them. I said, sure, great. And so today, you know, the thing you need to keep in mind is that when they're taking them and talking to you about a little bit more energy, and I'm feeling this and I'm feeling that, they always bring up other areas. Like the lady said, I'm real active, and I knew she walked a lot and everything, and I'm starting to get a little soreness in my joints and things. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, it's telling you that you got, you're building some inflammation in there, and that inflammation doesn't do any good for your body. But we have a full motion thing. If you take that, that'll help the pain in your joints and help repair them. So she started taking that. And so today they buy a carton of Pro Vitality, of CalMag.
You mean a case?
Case, yeah.
Wow.
Omega-3 salmon oil,
Wow.
full motion, and magnesium.
Wow. By the case.
Right.
Wow. Wow.
And they're doing phenomenal. Now, okay, I've heard a lot of great ones today, and it's wonderful. I love that. I'm involved in that. But what I really like, not more, but as much, are people that didn't have anything wrong with them, and I got them started on it, and they still don't have anything wrong with them.
Right. Right. Right.
To me, I love that. But I always tell them, I said, when you start on this NeoLife journey, I want to tell you something. It is going to be a challenge. I mean, you dug yourself a hole and you got yourself in trouble, and on your way out, you're going to have trouble getting out. It's like when you dug a financial hole and you got deep in debt, and you finally decided, you know, I've got to do something about this. This is tearing me up. I can't take this any longer. And you decide to get a few more jobs and start being more careful on your spending and things. And you finally work yourself out of debt. How many know Dave Ramsey?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to hear those guys get on there and saying, I'm debt free. And they were yelling and hollering, and balloons were, I mean, they felt so good. And that's what happens to people who have dug themselves in a physical debt and have all kinds of pain and problems that we've been hearing about today. Once they get over that, they're just as enthusiastic and are blessed beyond anything you can even think of. So I always let them know that on that journey, they are going to have some ups and downs. Their main concern is this, that what they're taking is the right thing, the real thing. We have a lot of imitations out there, but as long as you know it's the right thing, just keep doing it. Your body will make its adjustments and you'll come out on the heavenly side.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you today.
Okay.
It's really a great opportunity.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, you guys, Mark, this is Mark's first time, so you haven't seen him before, but he's been on the product for about 50 years. He's 76, and I'd say he has the health and vitality of about a 50 to 60-year-old. So definitely a picture of what the product can do. And you guys, even though he's back in Iowa, no one around, never been in our meetings till today, in the last 12 months, Mark sold just barely short of 40,000, you guys. So we should give him a hand. And now he's got Franklin on the call with us here. So I wouldn't be surprised, Mark and Franklin, they can jump up maybe to Sapphire in the near future. And I see Jamie coming to Sapphire, and You guys, we heard so many great testimonies today. Ramona, thanks for sharing that one on the depression. And you could tell them, you know, you guys know my story that I was heavy depression for about 40 years and ended up getting suicidal. As long as I stay on the 5B and 6 salmon, I have almost no problem. So, but if I go off of it, it starts coming back. So he might need the higher amounts. But anyway, so I'm gonna close with recognizing what people have done this month, the great contributions you've all done. And you guys keep in mind, next month, we'll hear from John Chambers some very helpful tips on telling our story. We'll hear from Laura Kickbush about some remarkable growth in the company. We'll hear from Brent on personal development concepts. So those will be good. And then when Charlotte speaks, she's a 2 diamond. I'm telling you, she's so gracious and down to earth and humble. We all love her. She's not stuck up at all. And you guys, her chronic fatigue was so bad, she told us she could fall asleep at a stoplight. And she woke up in a car wash once saying, where am I? Because she's so tired, no energy, she'd fall asleep. And her husband had real bad allergies and they were lots of debt. They were a young couple. They dreamed of being out of debt and having their own place. Well, now they have 100 acres in the country, paved out in the country, beautiful place. They've impacted zillions of lives. So try to get your friends on because they'll hear more health stories and they'll hear great stories like Debra's and Shelley's on building and Jamie's on building an excellent side income through educating others about the life-changing products we have. So your friends that you invite on the call, they'll hear both health stories and nutrition, and we'll have Ramona do the vitamin A next time. So they'll hear a nutrition training as well. But then they'll also hear an inspiring story of a couple who achieved a lot of dreams, as Debra Campbell is, and as Shelley is, and Barbara is, and many of our team are doing. So here we go, recognizing people. Brent and Ramona Chichester with 1,028 points for Brent and Ramona. Claudette Cyrus, 1132. Isola Chacon, 1,035. She's in LA. Danica Robson in Canada, 1,151. Nancy Reese in Grants Pass. She's on the couch there. I see her. 1,259 points. Jim Navarra in Portland, Oregon, 2009. Laura Kickbush, 2,468. Denise Doucette in Iowa. She's part of Dean Vandenberg's team and she lives in Iowa. She did 2,533. Rob Reynolds there in that room in Grants Pass, 2,693 points. Jean McEwen in New York. I don't know if Jean's still on. She's in Barbara's team. She was on earlier. Jean, there she is. There's Jean. And Jean last month did 3,079. Then in our top 13, we have Jolene Cox up in Portland. She did 4,108. And number 12, Mr. Mark Ritchie from Iowa that we just heard from, 4,258 points. Then Susie Myers, she's on the coast. She did almost 5,000. She's under John and Debbie, 4,728 points. Then in our top 10 now, John and Debbie with 5,031. Then Victor Pearson, that's my little brother, 5,082. Gina Ellis in the Hanson team back in Wisconsin, 5,860. Dean Vandenberg in Los Angeles, that's Barbara Chichester sponsor, 6,136. My dad, who just passed away, but his personal team did 6,593. Then in our top 5 now, here's some really big guns. Carol and Jamie Wilson, 6,822 points. Then in number 4, Barbara Chichester, 8,086 points. Building a dynamic team in Canada and New York and LA. And Donna Vallejo's on here today. Then in number 3, we have Wayne and Leslie Hanson. This is personal volume, 9,837. Then in number 2, I think Steffi is still on here. Hopefully, Steph, are you on here? Okay, Steph, there she is. Steph, personal volume, 12,195 points. Daniel Hanson in number 1, a very talented, hardworking, excellent customer service he offers. Very smart guy. We're so fortunate to have Daniel on our team. And number 1 for personal volume, 13,256 points. And so that's number 1. That's for personal volume. Thank you for all you did, everyone. And now for group PV, in number 4 is John and Debbie. And they had 16,581 points. So that was a record month for them, almost 17,000. They're leading Grants Pass, you guys. They're doing great. Then in number 3 for group volume, Wayne and Leslie Hanson, 28,953 points. A wonderful team. They're just tremendous. Then in number 2 was my little brother, Victor, 31,499 points. He had 3 directors this month. He had Barbara with a great 8,000 points. And then he had Steffi with over 12,000. And then he had Dean with 6,000. So Victor had a really big month, thanks to all his group. And then in number 1, my dad, who, you guys, he was only involved in NeoLife 17 years, and he just passed away last month at 94. And his team at 94 is doing over $1 million a year. You know, that's residual income. And what he did is he invested heavily in several people, but one leg was Victor, my little brother, and there's 31,000 last month. Another leg was Hanson's, and they run anywhere from 29,000 to clear up to 40,000 sometimes. So, you know, as we invest in our team and connect well with them, that's our job, to befriend them, encourage them, invest in them, help them any way we can. And so here he is. Dad just passed away, and his team, this is a big benefit in NeoLife. It can be passed. So my sister has that distributorship now. So you're going to be hearing the name Robert L. Pearson, that's my dad, but Marilee Blomberg. And last month, that group did 67,045, you guys. So that was their volume last month. And we're so grateful for every single person on here, you guys. So many life-changing testimonies today. You guys, as a group here, we can all encourage each other, I think, and we're so nice to have people outside the team, Shawn and Shelly and Debbie, Debra, giving us input with their expertise and experience and their success. You guys, with all of us together, we can make a massive impact. We're going to start impacting more and more lives. Ramona, wasn't that thrilling, helping? What was his name? Is it Nicholas, or did you say? Noah. Okay, yeah. It's so fulfilling. And Shelly, so fulfilling to see your own son grasping and growing. And Mark, your daughter's mother-in-law that was crawling on the floor because the arthritis was so bad. And now she can walk dogs to make extra money. Sam and Josh are on the call, and they have a dog running business. So here in Eugene. Anyway, everybody, we're so grateful to have had you on, and we look forward to seeing you October 3rd. We'll have tons more great information for you, tons more and inspiration. So thank you, everyone, so much. Daniel, should you take a picture, or what do you think?
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. I took a picture earlier.
Okay, very good.
Just of the screen, so that's all taken care of.
All right.
Asking.
Okay, yeah. Okay, you guys, God bless you. Thank you to our guest speakers, Deborah and Shelley.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you.
God bless y'all.
All right,
Love you guys.
Bye. Thank you all.
Oh,
John
good
and
job,
Deb.
good job. Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome, Franklin. Welcome,
Thank
Austin.
you, Deborah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Franklin, we're glad to have you.
Yes.
Thank you, Barbara Chichester. Thank you.
Bye, John.
Hi, Barbara.
And Franklin's from Cameroon.
Oh, really?
Yes, and he's
Okay.
gonna see if he can get some business going over there. Dominique's been helping us out a little bit for Franklin.
We want to visit over there in a retreat.
You guys will be so welcome.
Did you enjoy it, Franklin?
Yeah, I learned a lot, and it was so encouraging. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you. And can you tell there are a lot of good people on here?
Yeah.
Lots of great people. Okay, well,
Good to see you here, Franklin. Thank you.
Yeah. Franklin, that was from John. He's in Southern Oregon, and he and his wife lead that big group down there that we saw about 6 in the living room.
Oh, great. Where it says Grants Pass. Where are you from, Franklin? I'm from Cameroon. Oh, Cameroon. Okay. Yeah, in Central Africa. Very good. Who's your sponsor? It's Mark Ritchie.
Mark Ritchie, John, he's the one that has been on the product about 50 years now.
Oh, from Iowa.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. See, because Franklin, I thought that you were in Iowa, and yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I'm present in Iowa, but I'm hoping to do a lot in Cameroon because I have friends who are already interested in partnering in Cameroon. And even in Dubai. That's great.
That's great.
Oh, it's great. It's wide open. You're going to do well, I'm sure. Thank you.
He has a real good sponsor. Mark loves the product, and like I said, Mark hasn't been in meetings for years, and still he sold you guys almost 40,000 last year. That's pretty good, you know.
Yeah.
So now with getting on Zoom, so he can be joined with the team, and with Franklin. I think that team's going to boom back there. And Nancy, good to see you.
You too, Bob. God bless you.
You too. How's Jim?
Doing great.
Okay, good. Good. Thanks for what you're doing down there. And you guys, Nancy has signed up, what, about 12 to 20 people? Somewhere around 20, Nancy?
Something around there. I think
Yeah.
so.
Fantastic. And Nancy has hit 2,000 at least twice, correct?
I believe so.
Here's my financial manager right there.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not a numbers person.
Okay. Well, we're glad that you're sharing with other people and have started quite a few. That's fantastastic.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, you guys have a great day. God bless.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.